Hello, Calling Up Community. I'm Claudia Alick, and today this is a message, a few notes to our white community members performing allyship. A few performance notes. Back in the day, you used to get a lot of points for simply admitting that racism existed. This was because the base level performance of the United States was one that was constantly gaslighting us. And so, as an African American, if you, as a white ally, were willing to just say, white privilege is a thing, and you did not follow it up immediately with a bunch of defensive stuff about how you don't actually do it and it's not you, I was willing to give you so many pieces of affirmation and give you extra points. We're not doing that anymore. You simply admitting that white supremacy culture exists, that white privilege is a thing that white people in the United States have, you simply admitting to reality, while positive and necessary, will no longer get you extra points or extra affirmation. That's not extra. That's the bare minimum. A second note to my white community members performing their allyship. Your apology is unnecessary. I'm not looking for an apology. I don't care about your guilt. I'm looking for your action. Also, you admitting that you didn't know is not an excuse, and you will receive no absolution for sharing that information with us. You didn't know, and you feel bad about it, is not an excuse. Your ignorance is not innocence. Your ignorance was something you had to actively invest in. And I recognize that in the United States, white supremacy culture tends to punish you when you are explicitly anti-racist. And it tends to support you and to give you all sorts of extra points when you're in denial of white supremacy culture. This is why people act like this. So I recognize there are very good reasons for your I didn't knows. That said, you revealing I didn't know is not going to help you to receive absolution, because it's a sign that you were actively invested in the denial of white supremacy culture, which is one of the things that keeps it going. Your ignorance is not innocence. To my white community members performing their allyship, who are going to Black and brown folks to ask to be taught. In the past, this used to be a very lovely performance where the individual white person in the community would go to the individual brown person in the community, the Black and brown person, and say, hey, I acknowledge that racism exists and is a thing, and I acknowledge that I have work to do, and I'm coming to you to honor your culturally specific expertise to help me learn to do better. Unfortunately, right now, when you go to a Black or brown person to ask them for their help or expertise, what you're doing is replicating the dynamics of slavery. You're asking for them to labor for you for free. You're revealing that you have not done the work. As a Black and brown person, I've had to become literate in white supremacy culture for my own survival for my entire life. I also had to become literate in anti-racism, again, in order to save my life. I recognize why generally, white people are not literate in anti-racism. However, in this moment, individual Black and brown people are not the ones that you should be tapping to teach you for free. Either request their time, but offer to pay for it, or read a book. Turns out folks have been writing books about this a whole lot. Unfortunately, the online systems that were supposed to make this turnkey and easy for you that Calling Up Justice was producing, they were scheduled to be published in November of 2020. That entire process has been disrupted. And so in the meantime, look down in the comments, in the description, I'm going to have a bunch of resources for you to be able to educate yourself. These are not Calling Up Justice resources, but they are very good resources. Read How to Be an Anti-Racist. It's a great book. But in this moment, your request to learn more is not going to get you extra points. Your request to learn more is actually, again, it's a bare minimum first step. And so you will not be lauded. You will not get extra points. You will not get extra good affirmation for educating yourself or for indicating you have the desire to educate yourself. Now, you'll note that I've been using the term performing your allyship, and that's actually a very positive thing, right? In the United States, we're in a white supremacy culture that we are in denial of, which means the base level is one of not acknowledging what's going on and gaslighting anyone who does. So if you are performing neutrality, you're actually performing supporting white supremacy culture. The only way to perform anti-racism is to perform anti-racism. It's a choice. It has to be explicit. It has to be on purpose, and you have to do it all the time. So we are supporting and affirming your performance of allyship, and we're just giving a couple of notes for how you can do it more successfully, and perhaps in ways that do not, well, create responsive performances from Black and brown people that make you feel bad. But the last piece, the last note to this performance of you performing your allyship is this: it's not about you and your feelings. It's not about you and your feelings. So happy that you will be working to help to dismantle white supremacy culture. It is necessary. White supremacy culture is killing all of us, white people and Black and brown people and indigenous people. It's killing all of us. White supremacy culture is a bad thing. It's a good thing to dismantle. But if at any point in this process, you as a white person performing your allyship are thinking it's about you and your feelings, you need to stop. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, and maybe rewatch this video. All right, my friends, please keep acting out. Please keep speaking out. Please keep calling out injustice every day on the streets, on the phone, with your family, online. You got this. We got this. Onward.